Oh, look at that, it's perfect. Oh.
What is happening, people? Welcome back to another video. I'm T2 Sugars, and today I'm going to be painting my own garage. My garden is a bit of a tip at the minute. The garage needs to be knocked down and rebuilt, but I've got a lovely day to myself and a couple of hours, so I'm going to just stitch this video together, capture it all on my GoPro here, stick you guys on a time lapse as well so you can see it all come together. But I'm hopefully going to break down some certain aspects of the painting, of how I put paintings together, how I stitch murals together, and how I create everything. So yeah, I'm going to be putting this mural on this side of the garage, and we're just going to put a face on a portrait, and we're just going to see what happens. Let's just see how I feel and what comes out. So let's go. So what is happening, people, is it's voiceover T2 Sugars here, and this is my garage. It's a bit of a state at the minute, but it does the job. I keep all my painting here. It is paint absolutely everywhere. But I'm now trying to figure out what I have lying about the house.
We have a lot
because
of
my
paint around the
van,
house,
which has actually got all of my paint on it, is at work with my wife, because she takes the van to work when I'm not working and she is working. So the van always goes to work regardless if anybody's in the house. Now I've got my mark-out colour, which is just this light blue, and I'm just marking out a little bit of a grid, because what I've got in mind is that I'm going to be painting a portrait of a girl's face, and I love painting beautiful faces and things like that, and doing them in really funky colours. So I like doing them in black and white with colourful hair, or loads of variants of colours and things like that. So the option I've gone for in this painting in particular, which I haven't chosen yet, is teal colours like turquoises and things, with a range of purples, because that is what I have lying about. But right now I am taking a picture of the doodle grid and just matching up the model's face, which I found it on Instagram. I'm going to put a link to the model's Instagram page here, just in case you want to go check out some of her great pictures. And now I'm just lining everything up and making sure everything fits perfectly to the canvas being the wall. So I start marking out most of my portraits with the eyes, making sure that they are in the exact right place before I do any of the other parts, because if the eyes are not in the right place in my head, the whole portrait will just be out of sync. So yeah, this is the left eye, but as you'll come to see when I go to mark out where the right eye is, we hit a little bit of a problem. And now I'm starting to mark out that right eye, and I'm just seeing that the right eye is just lined up on this pillar, and what's going to happen is the pupil of the eye is going to be tucked around the corner of the pillar. So as you're looking at it from a different angle, it's just going to be slightly squiff and a bit crooked. So next thing is to do is go back to the phone and the doodle grid technique and flip the image and just move it slightly so that it all fits on one section of the garage. And that is what I'm just trying to do here, is just trying to make sure that the main features are all on one section of the garage, that everything then is in proportion and everything can be seen from any angle and it'll still make sense. So now I've got that, I'm just going to slowly draw in the eyes again and have the face painted the right way round, as in facing from left to right, or right to left, wherever you want to look at it. So always the tricky thing with the doodle grid is making sure that you're in the right place. The more doodles you have, the easier it is, and I try to just keep it quite simple because I don't really want to spend hours on drawing doodle grid, where I can spend most of the time just marking out the design. There's quicker ways of doing of marking out portraits and things. That's with a projector, but that would require it being nighttime or very dark or indoors or something. But a doodle grid will just get you there a little bit quicker than sketching. I'm not quite comfortable enough yet to just sketch out stuff on the wall and have to work a couple more hours. I can do it. I have done it in the past, but it just takes a lot longer just to make sure that all the proportions are correct. This is just a quick, simple way to get all your proportions correct, because if your proportions aren't correct, I'm going to say proportions and again, then you find that everything just seems a little bit crooked and a little bit out of whack. So this is just a simple solution to that problem. So yeah, just marking the bottom of the chin out now and getting into the lips. And she's got some lovely voluptuous lips, and that's the reason why I picked this particular pose. And I like kind of painting poses where the face is kind of looking off to the left or the right and not directly into camera. I do like doing the ones directly into camera, but you've got to get it bang on then, and this kind of gives you a little bit of freedom as everything is just slightly squiffed, and it just kind of helps you with marking out. There you go, you can start seeing the nose, the mouth and the eye. And I know I said that I'd try to mark out the eyes first, but because I knew that the eye was actually making sense this time, that it was all lining up on the same panel of the garage, I knew that I didn't have to worry about getting everything getting the eyes in place first off. So I just concentrated on the left side of the face to make sure that that was all right. So now I'm going to just start marking out a little bit more of the hair and things like that, just to get my bearings with the whole painting. So yeah, while I've got you here now and I'm marking out the rest of the hair, I just want to talk to some of the new guys that have come here from Smo's channel, because obviously recently I went to Germany and painted with him. Got some more exciting news on that front. I will be going to Germany again and painting with the legend that is Smo, and a couple of other big YouTube artists that you will probably know. I will be meeting them all out there in Germany again pretty soon, so stay tuned for that little YouTube video. And if you guys aren't following me on Instagram, I post a lot of stories on there if you want to go over and check that out. All of my links to my socials are all down in my description. So yeah, keep up to date with all of my day-to-day activity. You can check me out on Facebook and Instagram. But yeah, I'd like to thank everyone so far, because I haven't really had a chance to do a video like this and sit down and thank people for following me. Because for those that don't know, I actually started doing this business through lockdown back in 2020. I lost my job and I was given this opportunity to do some artwork. I created some art boards, if you have been following me that long, on the back end of my house, and from there it has just snowballed. I've got commission after commission, and I'd like to announce that I'm now currently booked up for a year in advance on commissions, which is absolutely crazy. And just to think that I wasn't doing anything like this as a day-to-day job, and now I get to do it every single day of the week. But yeah, here's a little quick time lapse of the face coming together, and we can start seeing it all come in the right proportions and everything. And you can obviously see the first load of eyes I did in the wrong, well, in the wrong direction, as you should say. So now I'm going to go pick out my colours ready for this paint. I'm now searching for what I have the most in the most colour range. I could have done a pink range, so I had quite a few there, but I've just found a few purples, and I'm looking at the teals now, and I have enough there to do it in the teals, as in turquoises and things like that, and the actual colours are Riviera Light, Riviera Dark, Turquoise Dark, and they are the colours in the turquoise range. Deep Purple, I think it's Black, Purple, Violet and Grape, in 2 different brands, Montana and Molotov. But yeah, they're the colours I chose, and you'll see me stack all the colours out here, ready to rock and roll for this painting. So now I got all my colours. I'm just trying to figure out where I'm going to be putting the purple, where I'm going to be putting the teal, and making them decisions. So the other problem I had with this little painting was the fact of I didn't really have any caps, because if you notice, a lot of my cans don't have caps, and all my caps are in the van, and I don't have the van today, so unfortunately I just had to go and scrape out a few of the old spray caps and hope for the best, really. And with the base colours, and what I mean by base colours is I'm just trying to get rid of the doodle grid in the background and determine what is dark, what is light, what is mid-tone, and then I can then
what I need black.
Chip away at the detail part. So I kind of go in like with the black first, because I try to work from dark to light. So I'm putting the black in to lay down the foundations where like the eyebrows are now, and the eyelashes and the eyes, the nostrils, the corners of the mouth. They're the key points of the proportions. Like I've said before, proportions are key. Otherwise the painting of the face will kind of look squiff and a little bit odd. So yeah, dark colours first, and then work lighter and lighter. But sometimes you just kind of grab the colour you feel that is right at the time, and you just kind of work with that first. And then hopefully throughout painting you just layer it and make decisions on the fly, really. And that is kind of like how I work. There is no real rule book to how you should paint, but generically speaking, I kind of try to do the dark colours first and then work to light, as a little bit of a rule of thumb. So whilst I mark out the rest of this, I'm just trying to block out now the like I said, the nostrils and the corner of the mouth and everything. So, and then I'll go in with the purples and determine where the purple is going to be, and then I'll determine where the teal colours are going to be. So all in all, I'm really happy with the proportions now, and I just need to put the block colours in before working in on the details. But like I said, I've got some big projects coming up, and a couple of them are working with some big YouTube artists, which I'm really excited about. Previously, like I said, like most of you know if you're watching any of my videos, that I've recently gone to Germany and done a massive painting with the legend Smonova. Hopefully now going to be meeting up with a couple more of the big legends on the European side. Maybe next year might look to go to America and speak to the guys over there and meet up and do some paintings on that side of the old pond. But yeah, with this painting, like I said, I'm trying to block out the colours here now, as you can see. Just trying to just generically fill in that doodle grid so that I know where the proportions are, and that you don't no longer see the grid anymore, because the grid is probably the most distracting part of actually doing a painting like this. So now I'm going to try and work in some teal colours, make decisions on where I want the teal to go and where I want the purple to be. As you can see, the ball bearing the bottom of the can was stuck, so I kind of give it a little tap on my knee. I can't feel my knee because I've had surgery on it and I can't feel a single thing in it, so banging a can on my knee, it's probably not good in the long run, but it kind of just does the trick to get that ball bearing loose and get a can spraying the way it should spray. Just a little tip there if you don't feel your knee and you want to get your can spraying again. There's a lot of people who look at me very oddly when I do that, but it works. It works for me anyway. Probably just tap her on a wall would be easier, but I kind of just do that anyway. So I don't know if you guys use, or if anyone uses the Belton or the Molotov range. I really hate the design of the spray can. I hate the fact that the cap and the colour ring is connected, so every time I normally break open a can, the colour ring that identifies what colour it is breaks off, and then I have no idea what colour is what. It's probably the worst design when it comes to spray paint cans, and I wish that they would change it and do something a bit more like Montana or the MTN brand. It's just such a bad design because they always break off, and you can't use a stencil cap with it either, which is annoying. And I like using the stencil cap. I like getting that down to the nitty-gritty details. But yeah, if anyone knows any better solution, and I know a lot of people are going to say spray a little paint on your finger and then dab it on the top, but I just rather not. That's just me being lazy probably, but I just rather the colour of the can stay on the can rather than me trying to figure out which one it is every single time. But yeah, that's my little rant on the old Molotov range. So yeah, now I'm determined where the light sources are coming from. So it's coming from the left side. So her forehead will be one of the lightest parts. The bridge of the nose will be one of the lightest parts, and then a couple of bit of highlights in the hair. So yeah, for the eyes, I kind of went for like an opposite. So on the purple side, the eye will be like a turquoise colour, and on the turquoise side, the eye will be like a purple colour. It's kind of like, I kind of do these different colour eyes or weird coloured eyes a lot in my portrait paintings. And I know I haven't done a lot on here, but back in the day, I used to do these types of paintings before I started YouTube all of the time. And if you guys know me from right back in the day, I used to have my own signage company. And as you came in, it was a massive portrait of a girl's face as you came in, because that is what I like painting. Hopefully I'm going to try and get a lot more of these little paintings in, and I'm trying to break them down a little bit more into how I do them. If anyone is interested in portrait paint, spray paint portrait paintings, I'll try and do a little bit more tutorial base. If that's what you like, drop me a comment down below, and I'll try to break them down and maybe try to explain the doodle grid a little bit more, and try to just break down the process of it, of the whole thing a little bit more, so that you guys can understand and get a little bit better at portrait paintings. But yeah, if you guys want to know, do pet portraits, go over and check out Jeff Paints on his channel. I'll put a little link to his YouTube channel. He does the best portrait paintings on a very small scale, and I've been to check out that guy's work, and it still blows my mind. Even though I've actually seen it in person, I still don't understand how he does something so small, especially pet portraits. This is kind of like one of the smallest size canvases that I do. I try not to do anything smaller because of the level of frustration it brings me when I do portraits on a very small scale with spray paint down. In the end of the day, it's quite a big medium to use, so doing really small portraits is really frustrating. So yeah, that's the other thing I really wanted to do in this video, is try to explain really that smaller isn't better, because I always get this kind of question asked to me all the time. Yeah, but it's only a small wall. But spray paint is such a big medium in comparison to a paintbrush or a pencil. You know, the spray dots are so big that you can get these very small details, but the level of finesse you need just to get the spray paint down to a very small dot is it's very time consuming, whereas if you're doing something very big, you can fill in quite large spaces very quickly. Like this has taken me 19 minutes near enough just to get it to this stage. Let's say 20 minutes to get it to this stage, where if I was doing this with a paintbrush, at this scale, I probably wouldn't even had the face marked out by now. But with the spray paint can, all the paint is in the palm of your hand and just spray it out and away you go. Which is probably the best thing that I love about spray paint. There's no mixing, there's no collecting pots of paint, carrying pots and brushes around. You just got the colour in your hand and you can just spray it out directly onto the wall or canvas or whatever you're painting. So yeah, I'm hoping that I'm giving you guys some helpful knowledge if you're not into the space of spray painting, and hopefully educating some people on why bigger is better rather than these tiny little ports. So yeah, as in for commissions, I am open to all types of commissions, big, small, ridiculous, and the most ridiculous request I have had in the past was to paint somebody's bottom. I didn't do it because obviously there's logistics with painting onto people, and I am solely using spray paint, so I wouldn't like to actually spray paint a person. But I do have a couple of projects coming up where I am painting a van. I don't do it normally because I've had headaches in the past, and it's not something that I take on very regularly. But I'm going to have another go at painting a van. I have quite a lot of requests really to do burger vans and stuff like that, but I've not done them because I'm a bit worried about how they would turn out and the life expectancy really, because life expectancy for this type of paint on vehicles is got to be quite short, because road corrosion, all of that of the good stuff, they are gonna just eat at the paint, and I can't see it lasting that long. So I'm gonna try it again soon, painting a vehicle, but we'll see how that turns out, and I'll make a decision if I want to do it again. I've recently seen Doak do a painting on a car. He's done a few cars now in the past, and it always looks like he struggles to do them, and that's the reason why I've tried to take it on board myself to see how hard it is, because the last time I did do a vehicle was about 8 years ago, and yes, I had a nightmare of a time, and that is why I haven't bothered in recent commissions on, say, accepting doing vehicles or vans or anything like that. So yeah, that's just one exciting project that is coming up soon. And be on the lookout as well, I'm going to try and do a 24-hour challenge. I don't know when it's going to happen, it's just a few things that haven't worked out yet, but I'm going to do a non-stop 24-hour paint, and I'm going to try and see how big of an area that I can cover. I might ask a few local artists to come up and join me on this project, because it's a big wall, and you all guys all have seen the wall before. It's the wall where I do all my secret writers, and it's a very big wall, and I'm hoping to get that all repainted in 24 hours. So be on the lookout for that. I'm going to start trying to get the logistics done for that very soon, and hopefully we can get that project up and running. So yeah. So whilst I'm here and chatting to you guys, I just wanted to do a little bit of an announcement. I am coming up with my own range of apparel. They will only be adult sizes for now, because I know there's going to be a lot of kids that want to get in on the old T2 Sugars goodness, but I have to wait until I sell a few of the adult t-shirts, and then I'll introduce some kid sizes. And I know there's going to be quite a few kids that want to get some T2 Sugars goodness, because a lot of my work is done in schools, and so that's where a lot of my audience lies, is with the younger generation. So when they do come out, if you want to show your support in supporting me as an artist, a content creator and everything, just make sure you just check out the link in the description of my video that I release it, and be on the lookout for it on social media, Facebook, Instagram, all of that other goodness. But in the painting now, I'm just adding in the background. I try to do this at this stage, try to get my subject in to a point where I'm happy, then just blocking out the background now with the lighter purple, and then I'm just going to mix in a bit of dark, and then on the opposite side I'm going to add in the teal colours, because these are kind of like the colour scheme I'm just trying to go for in this painting. And I kind of do this a lot of time when I'm painting. I get the painting to somewhat this stage and then work on the background. I just need to make sure in my head that the subject that I'm painting is to the right scale, and then now I can add in that background. And as soon as the background is done, then the detail can start going in, because what you don't want to do is you don't want to work in all the detail of the subject that you're painting and then have the background then dust over the top of it, because a lot of times background are filled in with fat caps, and sometimes the background kind of oversprays onto the actual bit that you're painting. So that's why I get it to this stage, then I try to chuck in the background. And the reason why I do this for is because I don't want to waste a shed load of paint on painting the background and then realize then that the subject that I'm painting has to move left or right, or something needs to be shifted, and then I've just wasted a lot of paint on the background where I could have just used it on actually painting the thing that I was meant to paint, as in the face this time, or it could be a car, or anything really that is the main subject matter of the mural itself. So now adding in these bits of detail, see I'm adding in the lighter colour haze, making sure that I get the strands in right, and that is where I'm getting with this. But yeah, this is kind of a quick painting in the whole scheme of it all. I think the painting altogether took about 1 hour, which is pretty quick for something like this. Normally I would take maybe 4, maybe 5 hours on doing it, making sure that every single detail is absolutely spot on. But since this is just a quick little painting that I wanted to do in my garden, I didn't take that bigger amount of time to make sure that all of the tiny aspects are in the right place. So if this was a commission, I'd be using a stencil cap to get that little tiny details of like the haze and like the little glimmers in the eyes and the reflections. I'd make sure everything is on that sense is perfect, because at the end of the day, when you're providing a product to someone, as in a commission, you kind of just want to make sure that everything is absolutely spot on, because they are paying quite a lot of money sometimes for these commissions. So you got to make sure that they are getting the bang for their buck, as they would say. As you can obviously see, we are in Wales and it has started raining. It has been quite a stop-start day this had, and you're probably watching this now and thinking, when was the last time it rained? Because we are in the middle of a heat wave, which is quite a shocker really, being in Wales and having a heat wave. I think it's reached 32 degrees today. But on this particular day when I was painting, it decided to rain, and directly after finishing the whole thing, it absolutely belted down, which is a normal thing for me. Painting, it always rains during a painting. I try to accommodate that type of things with an umbrella or building a little mini shelter. Anything to help me with just get the painting done, really. So I'm just going to sit back now and watch this piece come together. I hope you guys have enjoyed me chatting to you, and I hope that you've picked up some tips. I'm so glad that if anyone has watched this through, that they've got to this point and haven't got bored out of their minds. But yeah, I'm just going to let this play out, and I'll check in with you guys at the end. So yeah, the painting is coming to an end. I'm adding the last little highlights here and there. This is a quick time lapse of it all coming together, and this is what a lot of people see me doing, is a quick time lapse like this, and they just think that 1 hour's worth of work actually only takes 30 seconds. But no, it's quite refreshing really to do something like this raw type of video, and to give you guys a little bit more of a breakdown on what happens when I'm painting. And as you can clearly see, it is raining. So at this point, I decided to have a little bit of a break and go inside and get out of the rain for a couple of minutes and make myself a cup of tea. With our little blob of milk, the cup of tea is done, and now it's on to the finer details, adding in the eyelashes, the pupils, the little reflections here and there, and bringing the painting all to a close with just the finer details, the little tiny touches here and there, and you'll start now to see the portrait come to life. And where it really comes to life for me is where I add in the little reflection in the eye. Sometimes in the picture that I'm using, they don't really have reflections, but I try to get them in anyway, because I find that a portrait will come to life as soon as you add these little dots in. And if you've seen a portrait without it, and sometimes if you go in, just give it that little white glimmer, you'll see that painting really come to life, that the eyes have like a watery layer to them, and it's just reflecting off some sort of little light somewhere. But yeah, that is kind of like a little tip in what I do when I come to painting portraits. But yeah, I'm just going to leave it play out now for the rest details, and like I said, I'll check in with you guys towards the end when it's all finished.
Belt him later. fucking demented, love.
So yeah, the mural is coming to an end. I'm just adding these little bits in here in the bottom just to bring some foreground to it. But yeah, the piece took exactly 1 hour and 6 minutes to complete. So yeah, if you can grab yourself a little hour in the day and a little wall, you can do something just like this, even in the rain like I did. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed me talking or doing any of this like raw type of series, make sure you drop me a comment down below and I'll try to get around to doing some more. But yeah, here is the final outcome and I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you like and subscribe and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.